Hey guys, this is Mike, and you're listening to Feeling Twisty. I'm really glad you're here. I wanted to talk about inner dialogue. Neville talks about it often in his lectures, and he says it in different ways. He refers to it, a lot of times, and I do too, and others, about the state you're in. Are you staying in the state of your wish fulfilled throughout the day? In a number of lectures, he refers to it, this inner speech and this inner dialogue, and how important it is, how crucial it is to success. Because you can imagine up some wonderful states, some wonderful scenes, and your wildest dreams, you get to those sessions, or however you do it, formally or informally, assume that it's done, that you are that new person, that you are experiencing that. But if you're carrying on conversations with yourself, if you're thinking and feeling things habitually throughout the day that are counter to what you really want, I don't see how that could be successful, because you're not continuing to dwell in that new state. And I don't mean you can't have doubts and get upset. I still experienced wonderful things, even though I had days where I had, some doubt, some fear creep in. But if you don't address it, if you don't notice it, first you have to notice it. Then you can observe it. That's the same thing, isn't it? Noticing and observing it. But observe it without judgment. Just let that go. Know that that's not who you are anymore. And that's fine. That's beautiful. Because we're all learning and exploring and expanding. So definitely no judgment. No need to judge the circumstance that got the thoughts going, and certainly don't judge yourself. Initially, I didn't really observe my inner dialogue throughout the day. I just kind of did things in sessions. But the beginning, I was just going kind of crazy with it. I would get in a spot and I'd go into a session for an hour and a half sometimes, because I thought, well, that's what's important. It's going to take that long. The longer I do it, the better. But then I would be, back to my old thoughts and doubts 20 minutes later. And I really wasn't aware of it, what I was doing. And then there came a point when I was aware of it, sort of noticing what I'm thinking and feeling throughout the day. And oh my God, I beat the hell out of myself. I was so mad. It just was so frustrating. Like I couldn't control it. You ever have that where it's like when you start to notice it and then you're like, oh my God, this is insane. That's okay. I used to judge myself. I would judge it and get angry with myself and angry at the circumstance. But if you can move past the judgment and let the meaning drop, doesn't mean you're failing. It's a great way to notice. It's good to notice. Now I realize that. Oh, I used to not. I was a big self-denial kind of guy. Nope, I'm fine. I don't need to pay attention to what I'm thinking. La, la, la. But it's so important. Jill Noel, on her YouTube channel, she talked about how she started setting an alarm at intervals throughout the day to remind her to do this little self-check. What am I thinking now? What am I feeling now? She really wanted to start noticing and paying attention and notice what her feeling, how her body was reacting and what she was thinking about. That's a really cool idea. I believe, and I know because you're becoming aware of it. So if you were to set an alarm during the day to remind you to check in on yourself and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Just knowing that there's an alarm coming will have you aware of what you're thinking and feeling. So just the existence in your awareness of that alarm that's coming up at some point, you're already going to start being more aware of what you're thinking and feeling at any given moment. And when I first started in this, I thought it was so hard. Well, that's a lot of work. I don't want to work. We're not supposed to have to do anything. It's not hard. How can it be? You are all imagination. Your consciousness is your reality. So to expand and become more aware is, you got to start being more aware. And just intending to do this will start the ball rolling. Intending to be more aware and notice your inner dialogue. And things will start to change so quickly for you. When I started noticing it without judgment, wow. I mean, seriously, it's just crazy. When you get to that point and not judge, to be able to observe what you're thinking and feeling and how you're reacting without judgment, not ignoring it, and well, it depends on how you define ignore. In this case, I mean ignore it like it's something bad right there and I'm just going to act like I don't see it. And look right at it. Facing it takes all the wind out of it. Yeah. And then you feel empowered. You start to notice the control you have and how what you're thinking and feeling habitually is what you're experiencing. You do start to see the connection like Neville talks about. Take it right into the dream world and you'll start to see what you're creating. So what are you thinking and feeling right now? Love you guys. This is Feeling Twisty.